The legal world has caught on to the many ways that ChatGPT can be a productivity game changer. However, lawyers don't use ChatGPT to analyze PDFs. There actually is a far better tool out there to give you more accurate output, but almost no lawyers know about it. And the best news is it's actually free. So let's get into it. Quick intro. My name is Eric Schwarz, and I am the co-founder of justd.law.com, a legal tech company that takes all of the grunt work off of your plate so you can get back to winning. Let's do it. Here we walk through a typical use case. Let's say you're a defense attorney and you have a discovery document that you need to analyze. So we'll upload that to ChatGPT and see what we get. So as we look through this case overview, it's helpful, but unfortunately we have no idea whether ChatGPT is making stuff up, if it's being accurate, and where in this big PDF that we uploaded is this data actually coming from. So now let's look into the better tool. It's called NotebookLM. And before we get too deep, I'm sure you're wondering, okay, NotebookLM, it's a better tool, but is this some fly-by-night company? Is my data confidential? So more on that in a minute. But let's look at the analysis of that same document. When NotebookLM analyzes a document, the output includes incredibly helpful direct citations to the source location in the PDF. So if you hover over one of these links, for example, you get some of the source material. And if you want to click on it, you get the actual location directly in the PDF. So you lose the formatting, but it does pull out all of the textual information from the PDF so you can analyze it and make sure that it's not just making stuff up, for example. A lot of these models will do that. And so here you can see the source material, view it, and gain confidence that way. Another cool feature of NotebookLM is that it doesn't just allow you to reference PDFs. You can also analyze websites, YouTube URLs, and even audio files. So just quickly, if we add, let's say we're looking for news coverage related to our case, we can give it a website. So here I ask it to cross-reference the discovery document with the news coverage that I pasted, and it notices similarities and differences in these two John Doe cases and goes into it. But it's very interesting. Like there's many ways that you could imagine having this cross-referencing being very useful. That applies to, so websites, like I said, YouTube URLs, any different types of sources. I'd say the most interesting one for a lot of people will be audio as well, because let's say that you were talking with one of your clients and you have that in audio form. You can upload that here and then it transcribes it automatically, and that becomes another thing that you can reference. So that's an incredible time saver. And one of the most interesting features of NotebookLM, and maybe something you've heard of, is the ability to generate a podcast based on the material that it gives to you. So let's see how that sounds.
All right. So, well, we're going deep into legal cases today.
Deep dive time.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And I know you're all interested in this.
Yes.
Essentially, how these things work, these accusations of misconduct, especially when we're looking at organization.
Oh yeah, big time.
And so here it is, it'll go on for 15 minutes like that, just talking through the different pieces of the case, cross-referencing whatever materials that you've given it. Even has this interactive mode where you can speak to the podcasters, like interrupt them as if you're calling into their podcast, and then they'll respond to what you say. So it's all very, very futuristic, very interesting. Maybe there's some use case for you. Are there use cases where ChatGPT is actually better? More on that in a moment. Now, the big question is your data safe here, or do they just sell it to the highest bidder? Well, this is actually a Google product, so let's look at their privacy policy to see what it says. It's broken into two sections. If you use a personal Gmail account, you can opt in to sharing your data with Google to make their products better. Obviously, that's your choice. If you're using a Google Workspace account, meaning you have a custom domain, then they say that your data is not reviewed by humans and not used to train AI models. So obviously, take a deep look into this yourself as well. And if you find anything interesting, please leave a comment below. Okay, now back to ChatGPT. When would you want to use it rather than NotebookLM? So the current file size for NotebookLM is 200 megabytes. So that's a pretty big PDF, maybe 2,000 pages or more. ChatGPT, on the other hand, gives you up to 512 megabytes, so more than double the size. I don't know, maybe 5,000 page PDF, somewhere in the neighborhood. So the verdict here is you really want to, if you have a really large document, ChatGPT is going to be the better option. And they're also, in terms of if you have a large number of documents, NotebookLM allows you to upload 50 sources. And sources, going back to what we talked about earlier, that can be a website, that can be a PDF, that could be whatever it is, audio file. And there can be 50 of those. Whereas ChatGPT, you can upload up to 80 in a 3-hour period. So if you have lots of files, that may end up being a better option for you. All right, if you have questions, comments, things you'd like me to dive into in another video, please leave a comment below. All right, thank you.